They're literally on their way to death. They're on their way to death.
They have no idea.
They're on their way to die. They don't even know that death is coming to them.
And it's written.
They're literally on their own. They're going to death.
So there's an update in the car crash that left Anthony Joshua, the boxer, and his driver injured, and unfortunately claimed the lives of his two friends. The local authorities have announced that the driver is facing several charges, all related to reckless driving, and one charge that includes driving without a valid license.
And they ran into that vehicle, which was definitely because of the overspeeding. I didn't been doing no overspeeding, probably that wouldn't have been that fatal.
After weeks of secrecy, the Nigerian government is finally revealing what really happened to Anthony Joshua and his friends, and it's way sketchier than anyone imagined. Rumors of a calculated attack on AJ's life might actually be true, and there's even evidence to back it up. Here's the wild part. Anthony swapped from the front seat to the back just minutes before the crash. The incident went down on December 29, 2025, on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The Lexus SUV carrying Anthony and his friends collided with a stationary truck. Anthony survived with minor injuries, rescued by locals, but his friends Sinagami and FEDS weren't so lucky. At first, everyone thought it was just a tragic accident, but the investigation revealed major red flags. The driver, Coyote, was charged with multiple offenses: causing death by dangerous driving, reckless and negligent driving, driving without a valid license, and driving without due care. He was granted bail but remained in custody. Just when you thought it couldn't get any crazier, a major plot twist came to light. Weeks of secrecy are finally over, and the truth about Anthony Joshua's crash is even crazier than we thought. According to his driver's lawyer, Anthony swapped seats from front to back just minutes before the crash. Yep, he switched with Latif, the same Latif whose head was tragically crushed in the collision. That simple seat swap literally saved Anthony's life. The back of the car was barely touched, while the front was destroyed. Miraculously, the driver survived too. The lawyer explained, "My client has pleaded not guilty. What happened was an accident. The brakes did not work. Anthony initially got into the front seat, but the driver asked him to move because he couldn't see the wing mirror properly. So Anthony sat behind the driver and Latif moved to the front." But here's where it gets darker. People are saying this may not have been an accident. Rumors suggest Anthony angered some very powerful people when he went off script during his fight with Jake Paul. Some even drew chilling parallels to Kobe Bryant's helicopter crash, hinting at potential sabotage. Months before his death, Kobe had won a lawsuit against a major pharmaceutical company, earning enemies who some claim may have wanted revenge. Anthony's seat swap may have been a twist of fate that saved him, but questions are now swirling about whether this crash was just a tragic accident or something far more sinister.
Joshua was not supposed to make it out of that car crash. That car crash was absolutely done to end his life. That was deliberately done. But when things like that are deliberately done, there have to be other people involved, other casualties involved to make it look like an accident. That wasn't no damn accident. Now, I personally don't feel like Jake Paul had anything to do with it because I feel like this whole thing is bigger than him. It's higher than him. You know what I'm saying? But of course, that's always a possibility. He could have something to do with it. That's possible. But I personally feel like it was the elites, specifically the elites that bet on that boxing match, because Anthony Joshua was also not supposed to win that boxing match. Jake Paul was. Anthony Joshua is doing a lot of things that Anthony Joshua should not be doing. So there are attacks on his life right now because he is going against the grain. Anthony Joshua is not falling in line and listening the way he is supposed to. So they are trying to kill him. They being, y'all know. Another thing, I recently ended up on CIA Talk, don't know how, but I've been watching interviews of members of the CIA telling us the things that they can tell us, right? One of the interviews that I watched, this man, I kid y'all not, this man says that the CIA has the capability of hacking your car. They have the technology to hack your car and make you drive into a tree, make you drive off the road, make you drive into the ocean, make you drive into another car, make you unalive yourself. Sit with that.
And while we're talking Kobe Bryant, here's the tea that's been blowing up since Anthony Joshua's crash. Rumors are swirling that Kobe and Anthony were allegedly part of the same secretive cult. It all exploded after a podcast interview with Bishop Larry Gators went viral. On the podcast, Gators spilled major tea about a Hollywood cult called Black Boule, claiming it includes a ton of black athletes, celebrities, and even politicians. He dropped some shocking names: LeBron James, who he says replaced Kobe, Oprah, Bill Cosby, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, Obama, and even Martin Luther King Jr. People are now connecting dots between Kobe's tragic helicopter crash and Anthony's near-fatal car accident, claiming both incidents could have ties to this shadowy organization. And baby, the rumors aren't stopping there.
Secret Society is a Black Skulls and Bones organization. Why was Kobe Bryant a target? Kobe Bryant, a Luciferian Project, completed what I believe one of the greatest global cover-ups in history. But we have to see this for what it is concerning the assassination of Kobe Bryant. And one name keeps popping up. And it sounds like a Hollywood conspiracy movie, but the Boulets are vicious. Now you got this counterfeit like LeBron James, who has that Boule logo tattooed on his chest. LeBron James has that Boule tattooed on his chest.
What's the tattoo?
Yeah, the Boule tattoo.
But things get even crazier. People started digging and found receipts suggesting Anthony Joshua might be linked to another secretive group, the Freemasons. This organization is obsessed with the number 33, and wait for it, Anthony had 33 showing up everywhere during his fight with Jake Paul. Think about it. The fight was his 33rd career match. 33 million reportedly watched on Netflix, and he got taxed 33 million. Coincidence? Some might say yes, but a lot of people aren't buying it. And the car accident. The driver's family is dropping hints that the cops might be covering up the real cause. The driver's 19-year-old son said his dad has been Anthony's personal driver for 3 years and is not a reckless driver. On the day of the crash, he was following the speed limit, but the brakes failed. He swerved to avoid a parked truck and still crashed. The kid made a solid point. If Anthony thought his driver was dangerous, he wouldn't have trusted him for 3 years. Anthony had just swapped seats with Lateef minutes before impact, and that simple move might have saved his life. This isn't just an accident story anymore. It's looking like something much deeper and way more mysterious. Anthony Joshua swapped seats with his friend just minutes before the crash. His life literally depended on it. The back of the car barely got touched, but the front? Destruction. He made it out alive, but sadly his friends didn't. That's a guilt Anthony will probably carry forever. Rumors are swirling. Some say he went off script during the fight with Jake Paul, and that angered some powerful people who allegedly wanted him taken off the map. Others claim it's about money. Anthony embarrassed Jake Paul and cost a bunch of people who bet against him. Was it an accident or a planned attack? That's the question everyone's asking. I want to hear from you. What do you think really happened? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to click here to watch this other very messy video breaking it all down.